Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I'm Sean, this is In The Mixer, episode 116 of our FC Isle of Man series. Happy Monday, happy start of a new week. It's the second half of our season, our second season in the Premier Division. And we're going to do something a little bit different this week. Rather than kind of jump in and do matches at the end of each month, which is what we usually do, you guys are actually going to see the run home for the end of the year and our final little push to potentially get European football this season. Effectively, what that means is we have jumped forward a little bit to the end of last week, but you guys are going to see all 10 final league games for the season in a row. You're going to see every minute of action, pretty much every minute of the save as we work our way towards the end of the season. Just as something different, just to mix it up, just to kind of vary the content a little bit and see how you guys enjoy it. As always though, your feedback will drive what you continue to see on the channel. So if you hate the idea, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy it, then let me know as well. We're going to jump into the game now and review how we've gone over the last couple of games. So, as you guys can see here, left hand, just above my head, we're currently sitting in 9th position in the division. 28 games played, 12 wins, 9 draws, 7 defeats, a +4 goal difference, and 45 points. If you remember back to the start of last week, our aim for the season is to finish in the top 10. I think we are going to achieve that. There is a bit of a gap between 10th and 11th spots, and we are well and truly clear of the media expectation, which is to be relegated this season. Really, if I'm being honest, on current form, Newcastle, Burnley, Huddersfield, and Blackburn are the sides most likely to go down this year. Ahead of us on 47 points, Leeds in 8th spot, and Liverpool also on 47 points, but with a +11 goal difference. They're really the main sides that I think we have a realistic shout of hunting down. 6 points clear of us on 51 points are Southampton in 6th place. I don't think we're going to catch Chelsea, who are on 54 points. I don't think we're going to catch Tottenham, who are on 55 points. I think it will be a very impressive turnaround in the remaining 10 games of the season to actually get into the Champions League spots. But I think definitely for us, Europa League is an initial jump, and European football in only our second season in the division would be an absolutely tremendous achievement. Now, as far as our recent results are concerned, of course, in that last episode, we played Southampton, a pretty rough 0-0 draw, if I'm being honest, and then a 3-1 defeat to Arsenal. And I did kind of mention that we might potentially be coming back to do the Newcastle and Burnley games. We eventually changed that plan, but I was really concerned that we weren't having a good run of form over kind of the last 6 or 7 games going into the matches. But then we did really well against Liverpool, went 2-0 down, which was quite frustrating, fired the rocket at half-time, went super aggressive in the second half, and we did manage to draw 2-2 and had chances to win it before going down to 10 men, Jamie Warburton getting sent off in the 93rd minute. You can see the midfield scores were quite good. The forward line scores were very good as well. It was just the defence. We didn't quite deal with a lot of the stuff that they put forward for us. Tonali and Blaze getting the goal for them. Blaze has scored, I think, against us every time we've played them. Barbosa and Blore getting them goals for us. We then had a 1-1 draw with Chelsea. We took an early lead through Scott Phillips, finally finding the back of the net after 20 games without scoring. They scored an absolutely fantastic goal through Paulucci. And to be fair to them, Chelsea were the much better side. They probably should have deserved to win it on the balance of play and the different stat lines throughout the course of the game, but we did hold on and we did get ourselves a very valuable point. We then had a wonderful performance at home, a 3-0 victory over Newcastle, lining up against Lionel Altamiranda, our one kid striker from last season. It was very late that we kind of put this one to bed. Scott Phillips again scoring, 37th minute, and then Peacock with a double on the 88th and 92nd minutes, sealing the points and kind of just padding that goal difference a little bit as well. Last time out, we beat Burnley. We had a variety of chances in this game, and again, just didn't quite finish the way we wanted to. Kevin Angus, who is their goalkeeper, an own goal from a long-range Gary Lester strike, enough to separate the two sides, but they didn't offer a tremendous amount. And if I remember correctly, looking at their lineup, they were playing like a midfielder up front or something like that, so they might have their own striking issues. It does mean today we're going to play Leicester and Watford. Leicester down in 13th position, Watford down in 16th, both away from home. We have struggled a little bit, I think, breaking down some of the teams towards the bottom of the division this year. When the tempo's high, both sides are attacking, we tend to do alright because it opens up additional space for us. But when teams drop off and don't necessarily try and score, it can be difficult for us. So that's going to be the challenge that is set out for us today. But both sides, both games that I think we should be able to win. Looking at the squad, we've brought everyone back into the first team lineup. So the guys that we were trying to put out on loan, like Akeem Miller, I think Greg Carragher for a bit, even Lee Clark to an extent. Once the transfer window closed and they didn't go out on loan, I brought them back into the first team so that we've got a full squad available. Of course, all these guys here that aren't currently being listed in matchday squads, they are available for the reserve side. Before Scott Phillips started scoring again, we were playing Elliot Blore up top. He is one of 6 wonder kids that we currently have in the squad. I do want to kind of continue trying to get them out and playing games, but Nestor Rossi, who we spoke about in January and brought across from Napoli, hasn't exactly settled the best way that we know he could. He's on a 6.43 average rating for the 4 appearances that he's made so far in the Premier Division, and he's yet to score or assist anything in that time. We are going to continue to be patient with him. We will give him, I think, to the end of the season to try and get it together. He has got some wonderful attributes, wonderful stats, and you can see like a lot of upward arrows. He's improving in quite a few different things. But in reality, that left wing spot has just been incredibly painful for us to try and find a player to play at a good level. On the other side, though, like Aguiar's been playing tremendously well. Peacock was excellent. That double last time out was tremendous. Carlos Andre's back in the team. We're looking for him to improve a little bit, but otherwise the side has been relatively good. With Phillips finding the back of the net, it kind of balances things out again very quickly for us. The other thing, which might come up a few times in this episode, is that we are looking to try and bring in young English talent. I'm scouting all the 16-year-old, 17-year-old players at other clubs around the division just to see who might be about that has really high potential. Like, for example, Connor Roberts here at Leeds. He might be a young 16-year-old that we bring in. If we are going to make European football, we are going to need homegrown talent, and we're going to need players of English nationality that have come through playing academies that if we pick up at 16 or 17, give them a couple of seasons in and around the first team, they will become homegrown club players, and that's going to be a very important part as we look towards European football, challenging for titles, all that sort of stuff as well. So we are kind of doing a very broad net scouting program at the moment that we might get some further results on as this week continues. Otherwise, though, I'm actually in a really good position with the squad. I think I'm quite happy with both the mix of current ability and potential ability. There are a couple of players that will join during the off-season. You guys will meet them during the end of this year, both of whom at the moment look to be absolutely fantastic and I'm very excited about. But that's content to get excited about in a couple of weeks, not anything we have to worry about right now. Magic of editing, I'm going to jump forward to the game against Leicester and look at the two lineups. So first going through our structure, Kubis in goal, Warburton and Escobar as the defensive partnership. Escobar wearing captain's armband, of course. Carlos Andre at left wing back, Cedron at right wing back, Leicester anchoring midfield next to Barbosa, Aguiar at the 10, our highest average rated player for the season, Rossi on the left wing. We're going to continue to give him time to develop and improve, and Peacock on the right. Phillips, our leading scorer, leads the line up front. He's only got, I think, 14 goals for the season thus far. That is, I think, he's got 11 in the Premier League, 2 in non-competitive fixtures. That, I think, is a key area of improvement for us to try and find someone that is a bit more of a clinical finisher. He's wonderful out of the air, but just he's garbage in one-on-one situations. Looking at Leicester's lineup, they're playing a 4-3-3 shape. A couple of holdouts here for the original database. 33-year-old Boubacar Kamara from Olympique Marseille is anchoring their midfield. He's usually a fullback by trade. Maybe we can take advantage of him playing out of position today to try and get a good result in performance. They've got Billy Gilmore from Chelsea. The Scottish player is now 31 years of age in the 14th season of our save. He's had quite the career. Of course, like everyone that's at Chelsea, he's gone out on loan a variety of times. Bristol Rovers, Vitesse Arnhem, Huddersfield before, I think, moving to Sheffield Wednesday permanently, then Portsmouth, then Stoke, Celtic, Watford, and now Leicester. So he's been in and around the Premier Division quite a bit. But like all players at the moment, he is slowing down as more and more new gen players start to come into starting lineups. They've also got Tete, a 33-year-old Brazilian right winger, who I think must be at Shakhtar at the start of the save and database. He was at Watford and then Real Sociedad and now at Leicester for this season as he winds down his career as well. Otherwise, though, nothing massive jumps out at me as being like, a leading scorer or a leading assist creator or whatever else. So it might be that they're rotating a little bit as well. Passionately, we are going to say, come on, lads, show me what you can do to keep our run going. And I'm also going to tell Phillips up front that I've got faith in him. Leicester are one of the sides that I think would be looking at this game to try and pick up 3 points and get themselves clear of the relegation spots. They are currently in 17th position. Deep free kick here early, backstick runner, and Billy Gilmore's gotten a goal inside 3 minutes, only his third of the season. Not a fantastic start from us, but as we know, anything can happen once you reload a save. It recalculates your form. Maybe Kubis could have come out. It actually ended up hitting the deck just outside the 6-yard box. And to be honest, there were 3 or 4 defenders around. Someone should have been putting a head on that before it got into the box at all. Highlight here again. It's going to be from a set-piece scenario for the second time. Leicester, McDermott with a chance to strike here. It's not a bad effort. Kubis got across to it. Didn't have too much pace on it. Maybe keeper could have held it, but he's gone safety first and punched it out for the corner. Grant, ball in from the corner. It's a deep effort. Quello will come back in, and Cedron does quite well to close down the cross as the highlight comes to an end. So that would see Leicester jump up to 12th position. Oh, maybe I'm getting confused with Leicester. I thought they were down here towards 18th spot, but looks like they've had a nice little run of form. Ball in here. Cedron from the throw-in finds Aguiar. Loses out to Daniels. Now Hartley goes a long ball forward. It's a good header from Escobar to recover possession in defensive lines. Back to Cedron. Escobar, just patient play here, working the triangles, trying to find a man goal side. Escobar goes all the way back to Kubis. Now let's switch it out to the other side, boys. It goes out to Warburton. Let's work it to the left. Leicester, Barbosa. into Aguirre, work it out to the left, and we've lost possession in a poor area. Billy Gilmore winning it back for Leicester. Over to Grant now, and a switch out to Nampasad, the overlapping fullback. Square ball back to Grant, knocked down by McDermott, and they've found the finish again. We're 2-0 down to Leicester. This is not a great result. Get creative is what we're going to use here for the next 15 minutes. At least if we are not winning at halftime, we know what the halftime team talk's going to be, and it is usually an effective one. It's Grant that knocks it down, and then I think that initial tackle from Escobar just pushes it to the advantage of McDermott, who rounds the keeper and finds the finish for only his 4th goal of the season. Deep free kick. Nampasad finds Gilmore. Now Kamara at the base of midfield for Leicester looks to switch it out to the left-hand side. Charlie Daniels, or not Charlie Daniels, he's the Bournemouth left back, but Daniels managed to find an overlap. McDermott here again with a reverse pass. That time Kubis with a good save, forcing it out for the corner. It's not been great football. I don't think we've had a real highlight to speak of so far in the match. Headed away from Escobar from the resulting corner. Tete back to Grant. And it's closed down again out for the throw-in that time. Deep free kick here again from Daniels. Everything that Leicester's doing at the moment seems to be starting from set pieces across midfield and the back line. Ball out left now. Overlapping run from Daniels, the left fullback. Cut back to Hartley. Puts a ball in. Escobar with the header away. It's pinballing around again, and Grant's hit the crossbar before Carlos Andre hooks that one into touch. It's not great from us so far. We don't seem to be dealing with too much at all. Ball in, headed away. Camara finds Coelho, closes it down again. Back to Coelho again on the left-hand side. He doesn't want to get it on his left foot. He keeps cutting back in and looking for that pass through the middle. We might just go positive here for the last 5 minutes. Let's see if we can't anchor this for half-time. And 2 minutes to be added on. We're through the majority of that time now as the referee calls half-time. So 2-0 up for Leicester. They've had 8 shots, 6 on target, 43% possession. For us, 4 shots, 2 on target, and 57% of the ball. But we haven't made any of it count. Aggressively, I expect to see a much better showing from you in the second half. At least everyone's responded positively to that. We'll stay on positive for the minute, but we might give it 15 more minutes. And then we'll have a look at subs, potentially throwing the dice and going with all 3 at once. And maybe switching back to our attacking mentality as well. We do have a highlight here. Ball with Cedron, deep on the right-hand side from the throw-in. Works the triangle with Leicester and Aguirre. Back with Leicester now. Cedron gets a ball near post towards Phillips, who is our best header of the ball. Barbosa, back to Leicester. Now out left towards Rossi, who probably can turn. He didn't have anyone near him. He just took way too long on the ball. Headed clear by the Leicester defence, but back in. Phillips with a strike from the edge of the area. Wonderful strike from him. Only 11th finishing. Not the greatest finisher in the world, but he's managed to pull out a wonderful finish there. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. Only his 12th goal of the season. That is probably an issue given how well he started the year. I think he was on 10 goals between maybe September and October. Good strike from him though. Just smashes it towards the top corner, and thankfully had enough venom on it to get it beyond the keeper for the pull back goal or consolation goal. Right, so through an hour now, I've hit pause. We're going to make 2 subs. Jimmy Winter's going to come on for Peacock, who's struggling in this one. Rossi's also struggling, but I think Peacock's probably due a rest at this point. Warburton will come off for Sigurdsson as well. I'm going to trust Cedron and Leicester, who are the 2 guys on yellow cards, not to pick anything up. We're also going to switch to our attacking structure, and I've put everyone in their preferred roles just to try and be a little bit more aggressive on the front foot and go after it a little bit more. We're also going to use our Get Creative shout. Old Faithful, after an hour, we really only need half an opportunity here to try and find an equaliser, and then I think the pressure all comes back onto Leicester. Escobar across here to Sigurdsson from the goal kick. Now Barbosa, who can turn, or continue out to the left where we've got a wide open fullback if anyone wants to find him. Instead, we've gone a long ball over the top. Phillips has gotten goal side. It was a good ball from Leicester. And now Leicester, the team, nearly gave it back to Phillips there as the highlight came to an end. All right, 10 minutes remain to try and push on here. We're going to hit pause. We're going to go to our attacking structure again. Rossi just not playing well at the moment. Maybe we go something risky and try and push Anonye a little bit further forward. Set him to a winger on attack. Maybe we'll do the same with Jimmy Winter on the far side. And let's also do it with our fullback. Screw it, why not? Let's go attacking wingbacks. Just for the last 10 minutes here, it is going to leave space in behind, but I think we need to really push to try and find an equaliser. We're into the last 10, so I'm also going to use our demand more shout here. And everyone seems to have responded positively, which is good, but the 10 minutes has flown by. 4 minutes additional time to be added on here. Wide free kick from Maguire towards Anonye near post, and that flick-on header just over the crossbar. What else have we got up our sleeve? Okay, the highlight's continuing. I can't use a Get Creative shout. Resets here from Leicester from the goal kick. Gone across to Britton, and he's gone a long ball forward, which should be cut out well by Carlos Andre. Left-hand side, what can he do from this wide area? Cuts it back to Barbosa. Back to him again. He's got time to wrap his foot around the ball. Gets it towards Phillips, who finds the equalising goal. 13th goal of the season for Scott Phillips. That's where he's at his best. Balls into the box. His movement is fantastic. He just pulls off the shoulder of the defender here. Check it out now in 3 dimensions. Barbosa sends it out to Andre, gets his head up. You can see Phillips just drift off the shoulder, and from the penalty spot just powers that head home as the keeper's trying to adjust his feet. It's a good comeback, but this is a game that we should be winning. Is there any late drama in this one? We're through the 4 minutes of additional time now. There isn't. We've done tremendously well to come back, but Jesus Christ, that feels like 2 points dropped. In the end, Leicester had 15 shots, 9 on target, 42% possession. We had 10 shots, 5 on target, and 58%. I shouldn't complain when we come back from 2-0 down, but passionately I'm going to say what a comeback that was. But in reality, we should be beating teams like Leicester if we want to be in and around the European picture for the moment. So other results have gone our way. Leicester actually lost, and Liverpool also lost to Man City. So we are now only a point behind them. But really, if we had got the result, gone up to 48 points, we could have been in 7th position and in the box seat to secure European football. Phillips gets the man of the match award with an 8.8 match rating. We're going to go and give him a bit of praise as well. He was superb in front of goal. And we're now 5 games unbeaten, but 3 of those are draws during that period, which isn't great. We do have 10 days, a good gap before the Watford game. That's horrific. Apologies to any Watford fans listening in. Looks like Lee Clark will come in for the next match as Leicester will be suspended. We'll set him to a central midfielder on defend. And we might go a little bit more aggressive. Let's set these wingers to attack. Let's also set the wing backs to attack. Let's see how aggressive we can actually get with some of our play and really go and try and take it to Watford. Magic of editing though, we're going to jump forward to the Watford match now. Alright, so just like that, we are about 10 days ahead. I've jumped in a little bit early because it's my 700th game in management, which is flown by. And it looks impressive when you kind of read through it. We won the Hallmark Security League Northwest Division 1 North. That feels like forever ago in the first season. The BetVector Premier Division Central in 2023. The Southern League Cup in 2023. The BetVictor Division 1 Northwest in 2022. The Southern Combination League in 2021. The Vanarama National League North in 2024. The National League in 2025. League 1 in 2028. And the Sky Bet Championship in 2031. We won the League 1 Manager of the Year, the League 2 Manager of the Year, National League Manager of the Year runner-up, which I can't remember, but is devastating now to read back. National League North Manager of the season. There's been a whole bunch of stuff. And here's an interesting one. This is the longest-serving managers at their club. This guy has been at Lupe Rush, which is a club in Samoa, for 28 years as the manager. So I've got a while to go till I get there. As we scroll down the list further, Xavi has been at Al Sadd for 13 years, so he hasn't left at any point. And then here I am, well down in the list, 13 years, 253 days so far at Isle of Man, and probably a good 10 years to go. Alright, so just that one change for us, Clark coming in at the base of midfield, and the tactical adjustment to go to attacking wingers and attacking wing backs, just maybe to try and take advantage out wide. Looking at Watford's lineup, it's very strong. We know that they had a strong lineup back when we played them in the Championship. We know that they absolutely demolished the Championship last season as they came up. We've got one last holdout, Sveta Markovic from Partizan Belgrade at the start of everyone's save. He's had quite the career, actually. If we go back to his time at Partizan, he was at Olympiacos, then PSG, then Sevilla, Monaco, Arsenal, Man City, Juventus, Norwich, and now Watford for this season. Looks decent, not spectacular. At 32 years of age, he is slowing down quite a bit. Sokolenko rings a bell. I think he was previously a wonder kid player. Ukrainian forward that they're playing on the right wing. He looks very good. 23 years of age now. I think a couple of seasons ago when we would have played them, he might have been their star player at that time. 19 agility, 17 acceleration, 18 balance, 16 natural fitness, 17 pace, just a physical beast. And then the other one we want to look at is Rob Batch. We actually tried to sign Rob Batch a bunch of different times. He was an English wonder kid, still is. 19 years of age left winger. It would have been very interesting to see how would it have gone had we signed Batch and not Blore at the start of the season as we started to recruit our English talent. Very good player, and he's done all right making the jump up to Premier Division football as well. We'll keep an eye on them both. Their wings will be their strength, but I'm hopeful that ours are a little bit stronger and we can go from there. Assertively, we're going to say, go out there and enjoy yourselves today. Let's just go with that. We don't use that one often. Just to mix it up, stop the AI or the match engine or whatever else. Whatever the match engine is. Not match engine, I guess, like the team talk engine. Figuring out what we're going to do. Just keep it on its toes. First highlight of the game, 24 minutes in. It starts from a Watford goal kick. They're playing around a little bit at the back. The press isn't bad, but they're goal side now through Fitzgerald, who immediately gives the ball back to Cedron, curse of the commentator. Clark now to Escobar. Looks for a ball across to Barbosa. It was a little bit dangerous doing that crossfield ball in midfield. Peacock now cuts inside, beats one man, gets around the outside and goes for the drive from the wide angle. Had a lot of pace on it, but not really challenging the goal. So first highlight goes our way. We're also going to use our Get Creative shout here. They've immediately got a deep free kick, which is always terrifying. Ball back is poor. Phillips is going to recover, and he's got people joining him. Instead, he's kind of turned and gone himself. Slow down, Scott. Instead, he goes to strike straight at Reinhardt. We had really good breaking there from the two wingers. If you maybe had brought one of them into play, we could have worked a better opportunity. Throw in now, very deep on the Watford right-hand side. Back to Sokolenko. Rossi with a good tackle, but Sokolenko's going to recover possession and get a deep ball across towards backstick, and Batch with the header. Thankfully straight at Kubas, who was equal to it, saves and holds. Highlights continued here. We're going to check this out and see where it goes. He's gone short to Escobar. Put him under a little bit of pressure, to be honest. And then Kubas with the long ball forward. Aguiar's not going to win many headers in the box. And ball forward now to Batch on the left-hand side. He beats one and he's found the finish. We spoke about him in the build-up as being a player to watch. 7th goal of the season for him. And is that Robert Ramsey? Is that our old Robert Ramsey from Middlesbrough? We'll check this out in a minute. But Ramsey in midfield here comes forward. Puts it in behind for Batch. Skips around one challenge and then gets the strike away. Kubas gets a big chunk of it, but can't keep it out. We're going to also check out Ramsey as well. Ramsey, of course, we had him loan from Middlesbrough. I think our first season in the Championship. Here we did indeed. We had him for that 1 year in 2028. 34 appearances and 2 goals for the number 10. He was very good at that time. Don't think his career's quite worked out the way he wanted it to. He's now also a declared Scottish international, which I don't think was the case when we had him. Looks like he made a move from Middlesbrough to Southampton after that season, and then he's been at Huddersfield, Burnley, Metz over in France, Southampton, and now Watford this season. Actually, no, he's on loan from Southampton. Shame, though. Shame that he's chose to do that against us, the little shit. At half-time, we are 1-0 down to that Batch goal. Watford have had 6 shots, 3 on target, 53% possession. Really only the one highlight. We've had 8 shots, 4 on target, 57% of the ball. I'm going to aggressively say, show me something else in the second half. Everyone's responded positively, which is good. If we try and get a few improved performances, particularly out of that front three, Aguiar hasn't played well. Rossi, Peacock hasn't had the best game either. That might be where we look to make our subs as we get to the hour mark, which, to be fair, we're already at. All right, we're going to make 2 subs. So far, Rossi and Aguiar both struggling in this one. So Jimmy Winter's going to come on the left-hand side. He'll play as an inverted winger. And Mariano Oru is going to come on for Aguiar. I don't actually sub Aguiar often. It is a rare instance where he's not having a great game. I'm also going to push those 3 to attacking functions as well, just to try and push on a little bit further and find this equaliser. We're going to passionately say we've got faith in them. We're also going to use our old faithful get creative shout. Immediate highlight here. It's a good header from Warburton, backstick from the corner, but keeper was scrambling, but not on target. Ball here again with the Watford defence as they come into midfield. Diaz looks out left towards Batch, who's been very busy in this one. Gets the strike away. Kubas equal to it that time, forces it over for the corner. We spoke about Rob Batch. What could have been? What could have been had we picked him up during the off-season? Warburton with the header away. Batch to Oru. Oru might recover possession for us. Ball forward. It's going to be given straight back to Watford. The highlight comes to an end. Going to use our get creative shout here after 70 minutes. We really want to try and push and try and find a winner or an equaliser at least. All right, we're to the last 2 minutes. We're going to hit pause. We've got one more sub up our sleeve. Barbosa hasn't had a great game. We might bring on Cambridge. Switch him to a box-to-box, which is his preferred role. We're going to passionately tell him we've got faith in him. He doesn't care. And we're going to use our demand more shout here for the last 10 minutes. What can we try and push to try and find an equalising goal? Corner here from Watford. Goes near post. It's pinballed around to Cash's offsides. That one's going to be chalked off. We're going to see an immediate highlight up the other end for us. It's pretty much ruled out. 3 minutes of additional time. Is there any late drama? Any highlights for us at all? We're through that time. The referee calls full time. It's not been great performances from us today. I'm not going to lie. Watford, 1-0 winners by that Rob Batch goal. 13 shots, 9 on target, 49% possession. For us, 9 shots, 4 on target, 51% of the ball. I'm going to say aggressively, far from pleased with that result because Watford, I think, are a side. Yes, they're a good team. Yes, they won the championship last year, but we should be beating newly relegated teams or newly promoted teams. I think that does see us drop down to 10th spot. Brighton go above us on goal difference. We are 6 points clear of Norwich in 11th, but they do have a game in hand that we'll have to keep an eye on, and a vastly inferior goal difference for all the sides down here in the bottom half. Lee Clark suffers a defeat against his former club. Rob Batch, is he a player that we should maybe go back in for in the off-season? That might be one to keep an eye on. We do want English talent, and at 19, he's probably still got a good few years left to hit his potential. We lose after 5 games undefeated, which sucks, but it's not the end of the world. And it does mean in tomorrow's episode, we've got a huge game against Brighton, who are currently 1 position ahead of us in 9th spot, and another massive game against Everton away from home. This little away stint, this 4 games in a row, it kind of sucks, but it does mean at least for our final 6 games, 4 of them are home matches that we can really go after it at. And of course, because of the structure of the week, you're going to see every minute of each one of those games. As always, guys, thank you for the continued support on the channel. I do appreciate it a tremendous amount. If you wanted to go that extra mile, you can drop a like on this video to please that YouTube algorithm. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all our future videos as they continue to release. If you've got feedback, positive or negative, drop it in the comment section below. If you want to let me know about your own saves and how they're going, if you're doing a lower league save of your own, please let me know. I do respond to every single comment that I get. But like I said at the start, more than anything, thank you so much for watching. That's the part I appreciate. I've been Sean. I'll see you guys again in the mixer.